What's up? Eu sou uma velocista peregrina, sua silkstime. Nun dias veritatis domina per noctem. What's up? Okay, so let's just get right into this because this is something that I was channeling just a little bit ago, and I wrote down in my handy dandy voice notes. Well, I didn't write, I spoke and it typed. Either which way. So I came to this conclusion. This might not resonate with everyone. I do want to say, let's pick up my little magical wand. Forgot to pick him up first. So we have what's going on right now with the message I'm going to convey to you. You can listen to it and you can see if it resonates with you, because it may or it may not. However, if you are someone who is believing in past lives and you are sensing too that you might have a very significant past life that might be present and prevalent in your life experience now as you're in the physical vessel that you occupy right now from this vantage point, then some of this may resonate with you. Like I said, I film shit if it gonna resonate with someone. I don't know who, I don't know how many, but it gonna resonate with one of you. So we'll ask you this first. Do you sense that there is a past life that is coming up for evaluation? Do you sense that there is a past life in your experience now which is making itself known to you? Do you sense that this individual, who you were in a past life in a different physical vessel, do you sense that this individual is conveying you messages into your vessel now? Do you sense that this individual, this past life, all of the above criteria that I just mentioned, do you sense now that this is a significant moment where you are to incorporate your past life self, this significant one, because this may be your alter ego in this life? That's a mouthful. If you need to rewind the video and ask yourself those questions, write it down if you fucking have to with the magic fucking wand. I will tell you this: if you answered yes to those questions, and some of the things that I say here may resonate with you. So this is going to be a little bit about astrology and obviously past lives, but mainly the focus is on astrology because that's what came through when I fucking received this information. Thank you to my former self in my past life, who I am. We like this now in this lifetime, and interesting stuff with that. Okay, so before I dive deeper into this is going to be around the realm of astrological planets. In this broadcast, we are going to be referring to the archaic planets as well as the sun and the moon, which are celestial bodies and not considered planets, but we're going to lump it all together and just call them all motherfucking planets, right? But when we get to the sun and the moon part, it's going to be slightly different because they're not planets. Okay, so first, let's break this down. We know that there are the 12 zodiac signs, and then there are the archaic governors, and each of the archaic governors, save for the sun, which governs Leo, and the moon, which governs Cancer, there are the archaic governors. We have Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn. So Mercury governs, even in modern astrology, Gemini and Virgo. Venus governs, even in modern astrology, Taurus and Libra. Mars governs, archaically, Aries and Scorpio, before Pluto entered the picture. Jupiter governs, archaically, Sagittarius and Pisces, before Neptune entered the chat. And Saturn archaically governs Capricorn and Aquarius before Uranus entered the fucking chat. You know I had to say it? Okay, so now that we have that down, what I received as a channeled information is that the governors, because, you know, as I went through the sun and the moon already, archaically and present day, the sun and the moon are not planets. The sun governs Leo, the moon governs Cancer. Okay, so before we get into that, I did say that this has to do with the past lives, and I figured out if you met all the above criteria and you sense you have a past life or an alter ego that's coming through, your alter ego, and this is from what I channeled, is going to be the sister or brother, the sibling, which is governed under the same planet. So what do I mean by this? You remember how I went through the planets, the archaic governors? So let's go with Venus. Venus is the governor. The sister or brother's sibling relationship there is because it governs Taurus as well as Libra. So let's say you are a Taurus sun sign in this physical vessel. Now, if this resonates resonates with you in your past life that's coming up for recognition at this time, or a personality type that you might consider to be your alter ego, or both, is likely that in the past life that's coming up now, you were a Libra sun. Let's go through Mercury. So if you are currently a Gemini sun, the same would apply. Only in your past life, your alter ego would be Virgo sun from you in that past life. So I am an Aries sun. My alter ego, my former self, who's conveying to me, is a Scorpio, and it's a Scorpio male. Okay, it's a Scorpio in a masculine vessel, and Mars governs both my sun sign now, Aries, and Mars governs the brother, sister, sibling, Scorpio, which was my former self. And then you would do the same thing, right? So Jupiter would be, if let's say you're a Sagittarius sun sign now, the past life, the alter ego would be a Pisces personality type, and the Saturn, if you are Capricorn sun now, your alter ego, oh my god, your alter ego past life, which is coming up for reference, it's present, would be an Aquarius. I went through all of them, so I don't think I could break it down any more than that. Okay, so that's what it is. So you really would only need to concentrate on your sun sign in this physical vessel now, and that would be indicative of the sibling that you were sun signs in your past life, or something that you consider to be your alter ego in this lifetime now. So for example, my alter ego, the past life that's coming up now, has very, very scorpionic traits because it's governed, both signs are governed by Mars archaically. Now in the case of the sun and the moon, you would look at the moon as, if you're a Cancer sun in this lifetime now, if a past life is coming up for you now and you sense that there's like an alter ego involved, or you feel like you have an alter ego, they most likely have the Leo traits, because the sun and the moon, we're gonna, they're kind of like the brother and sister as well, the mama and the papa, whatever, the counterparts to each other, since they're not planets and they only govern one sign, archaically and present day. Same if you are a Leo sun now, then your alter ego past life that's coming up for review would be a Cancer sun. Do you see what I'm saying? Okay, so now that we went through that, we can take a look at why the past life is so significant. Now, it's going to be different for everyone because everyone has different things that they want to do whilst they're in their different vessels and shit like that. So for whatever reason, the Scorpio is resonating with me because it's closest, because it's one that I can identify as potent energy, as well as there's sort of like an alter ego in there as well. Because when I started incorporating my former self, maybe I'll get more into that at a later point when there's more information how to do that. But my former self, the Scorpio masculine energy, a lot of that is prevalent in my personality, but you wouldn't necessarily see it on the surface. Okay, now obviously it depends as well on like other placements in the chart, but strictly for the sun sign incorporation of the personalities, we're talking about if I want to understand why sometimes, and this is before I even really was knowing astrology like the way I do now, I would notice, I'm like, damn, I have a lot of Scorpio traits, and Aries is similar to Scorpio because remember, they're the siblings because they're both governed by Mars, but it's like siblings. I don't know how to really get more into it. It's like siblings. So this past life is me. It's another aspect of me, but the Scorpio masculine is like my brother, quite frankly, who is in a past life, and now they want to be incorporated, and this is a major one. So some of you might resonate with this as well. Let's say if you have a Taurus sun sign, but you notice that you do have a lot of Libran traits, because remember, they're the siblings under Venus, then you might notice that the Venus is coming out expressed through Libra a lot of times, because remember, if it's your sun sign, that's how you identify, right? So you can identify as, yeah, your Taurus sun sign, but then sometimes you identify with the Libra sun traits too, and it's similar because they're siblings. Do you see what I'm saying? So this is key to understanding if you really want to incorporate this past life that is coming up for review. You embrace the traits traits of the sun sign. I already told you how to figure it out. You embrace the traits of the sun sign of the past life that's coming up now, the most potent one, because it's calling to get your attention. And I'm not saying you never had other past lives, or that was your only past life, or that was the only one that was significant. But like I said, this is for a very specific few that are resonating with one that's potently coming up and wants to be incorporated. If you want to incorporate them, then now they become your alter ego. So a lot of times, like when I'm channeling me, former area, it gets buck wild. Okay, that's all I'm gonna say, because I'm like, whoa, because I'm incorporating those traits, so I see it. So it's similar because remember they're siblings, but there's also a little bit more depth, and you might take on some personal resonance and understanding as to why sometimes you behave like this and it seems quote unquote out of character, right? It's because that potent past life is coming up for review. It wants to get your attention. And I do want to say, for some of you, this is my experience, that past life individual, they might have done some things, okay? They might have done some things and you're like, whoa. And some of the things that they might have done might have been a fear of yours in your present life. So think of there's different things. Like let's use the example of Venus with Taurus and Libra. Venus is concerned with luxury and pleasant physical realm experience. One in the realm of being financially secure and having nice things around them. One is still concerned with being financially secure, but they're more concerned about how other people in their environment are perceiving them, to the extent of they always want to be viewed as pleasant on the surface, whereas the Taurus don't really care. I mean, I don't want to say they don't care. I mean, they do care, but they care less about how others perceive them. They care more about how stable they are and how others perceive them as their stability, whereas the Libran influence of Venus is more about how others perceive them as having nice things and being pleasant on a surface level. I'm not saying that Libra energy doesn't care about their stability. I'm not saying Taurus energy doesn't care about how others perceive their personality, but you get the idea. It's like a balance, okay? So you can do that for all of the pairings of the siblings. And when we look at this, we might find some insight into, whoa, that's why this is like this, or that's why that's like that, because it's coming up for review. So there might have been, let's say in the case of Taurus and Libra, well, and you could do this for all of the traits of every, whatever applies to you, and you can look at it. So if you're a Taurus sun in this lifetime now, then you might have a subverted type of Libran personality energy that comes up, where you're secretively wanting individuals to find you pleasant and smooth and charming and vivacious and all of that jazz, but you don't really understand where it's coming from, because if you're focused on your finances, perhaps in a past life, the Libran energy, because it was your sun sign, let's say in this example of in your past life, you were more focused on that, but now you're focused in the other direction, and the two are rectifying each other. So it's about how does Taurus sun, under the government of Venus, embrace the Libran qualities of fulfilling the entire planet, or in the case of the sun and moon, the entire celestial body. So Taurus in their past life might have been overly concerned about the Libran qualities of Venus, and Taurus in this life might be overly concerned about the Taurian qualities of Venus, but on the inside they still want to rectify the Libran qualities of Venus, and it might come out in the terms of like their alter ego. So someone with a heavy Taurus, let's just say, I mean, I'm going by sun sign because that's what was conveyed to me, but I suppose you could do it with other placements in your chart. Like you could do it with your Venus placement, you could do it with your moon placement, right? You could do it for all of them, but the one that came through was the sun. So you already know the traits and characteristics, all that, so I don't need to go in there. I'm gonna just explain my thought process on this. So the Taurus energy in this lifetime might want to rectify the Libran side. They might want to understand, well, yes, they do care how others perceive them on a personality level, on how put together they appear, how charming they are, blah, blah, blah. Because in the past life, let's say, if it's especially coming up, that Libran sun energy might have been very, very solely focused on it. So it created an imbalance, which is wanting to be rectified and smoothed over in the lifetime now, because the areas from the past life were overly overly fixated on the Libran energy, just like it could be overly fixated on the Taurian energy now. And how you rectify the difference is to embrace the Libran qualities, and you say, yes, you do care how financially stable you are, like to yourself, but you also want to be perceived as steady and reliable and dependable, and also with a charming personality and well put together, much like the Libra characteristics. So you can go through this for all of the planets, and in the case of the sun and the moon, you would simply just look at, let's say if you're a sun Cancer, then maybe the Leo characteristics from your former life were overcompensated in that past life, and that's why they're coming up for review now, and then you incorporate them into yourself, into your life experience now under the Cancer sun, and you would just do that for all of the, as I said. So just a little quick tidbit that's what I have for you guys today. Thank you for joining us on this wonderful stroll. I'm Oculus, the alien next door, purveyor of esoteric lore. We will chit chat again soon.